There are 4 writing tools that I want you to check out. I think they can help your writing starting today. So let me share my screen and we'll go to some text. Get rid of this. We'll go to some text and see how Grammarly.com works. This is a free online tool, my first writing tip for you, that can help you edit your own work. Grammarly will place a red line under or a blue line under text that is needs your attention. So notice that I have actually misspelled Grammarly here. I can right click or hover over it and it will give me the correction. Click on the correction, done. Online, I use 2 words instead of 1. Correction is done. Got to correct Grammarly again. Looks like I wrote and suggestion instead of a suggestion. Get that corrected. And what does Grammarly want me to do around everything? It says, I need a comma. I've got 2 clauses here, 2 independent clauses, and I should have a comma between them. So I'm going to accept that recommendation. And oops, it looks like I've misspelled recommendation, easy fix. Now, there are recommendations that you wouldn't accept. For example, Grammarly says here, what? It says instead of using 3 words, I could just say suggest, but I don't want to do that. I actually want to say make a suggestion. So I just don't take that advice. And also, Grammarly doesn't find everything. For example, I noticed here that I wrote just click upon. Now, technically, not incorrect, but I could, in a using spare, shorter words and fewer letters, I can just delete the up and say just click on. It's much more direct and simpler. We always want to go for that in our academic writing. So this was pretty cool. It was a very helpful tool, and I suggest getting Grammarly as and use that to edit your own work as you write. Now, uh, unfortunately, Grammarly doesn't get everything, and I'm going to show you another tool that will help you with something that Grammarly misses, and that is the backwards paragraph function or the Pilcrow located right here in the middle of your word toolbar. If I engage that, I get a backward P wherever I have a line space. And that's very helpful. It can tell me what my spacing is. It will show if I have a section break or a page break. That can be very important. But it also can show me, and look at this, it will put a little blue dot wherever I have used the space bar. And notice here that I have 2 dots between these 2 sentences. And that is incorrect. APA 7 says 1 space between sentences. So I have to fix that spacing. So I'm going to click and get rid of that extra space. So using the Pilcrow function is pretty neat. So you can keep that on while you're writing and just notice as you go along what if there's any issues with your spacing. My third tool helps to automate a really good technique, and that is to read our writing out loud or have someone read it to us to see how that text flows and if the sentences are clear. But it's hard to read and to hear at the same time if you don't have someone nearby who's to do that. You can use an assistive feature called Read Aloud, which may be available in your word processor. It is in mine. I'm using Word 365 for the Mac, but you can get an app to do it for yours if you need to. But look how easy it was to set up. I went into System Preferences, Accessibility, Spoken Content, Speak Selection, and I chose Series Voice, and I even set up a keyboard shortcut to start the text. So let me put my cursor right here and use my shortcut, and let's hear what it sounds like.
It really helps to read our writing out loud to hear how it flows and if the sentences are clear, but it's hard to read and hear at the same time. You can use an assistive feature called Read Aloud to read for you. Well,
So let me stop there for a moment, because you can hear it's pretty cool and it's a familiar voice. And it's very helpful to hear how what's the rhythm, what's the pace, and I can hear the structure. Let me put my cursor here at this place in this sentence, and want you to hear to see if you can hear an error that I made in this phrasing.
I set up a keyboard shortcut and choose a voice. When I want to, the Siri voice reads my text. This clearly isn't perfect, but it is useful.
So did you hear what I heard? And that is in this sentence here, or this part of the sentence, I use the past tense here and I use the present tense here. And that's not parallel tenses. It's not parallel construction. And I like it to be parallel. That's better. Rather than say choose, I should say, and Grammarly didn't pick that up either, because it's technically I could use that, but for our academic writing, we want those tenses to be parallel. I set up a keyboard shortcut and I chose a voice. So that read aloud feature was very helpful for picking up both how my writing flows and where I made that error. A companion tool is something called speech to text. So instead of listening, this time I'm going to speak my text. Sometimes we as writers are eloquent about the topic we want to write about. We can speak very fluently about it, but it's harder to get those words on the page. So this functionality allows us to speak about our paragraph topic and get some sentences down on the paper. Now I have something to write to start with and something I can begin to work with and edit. So check this out. So let me make sure we can hear this. So I have on my Word 365 software this feature up here called Dictate. And when I enable it, my right here at my cursor, where my cursor is, I should see my text. So let's check it out. My goal for today was to give you 4 tools that you could start using right now to help with your writing, period. The first is to get a free download of Grammarly, period. The second is to use the backwards paragraph or Pilcrow to show all the spacing in your document, period. The third is to use a function called read aloud, period. Read aloud will enable you to hear what you've written so you can check it out for flow and for clarity, period. The fourth tool is a companion called speech to text, period. In my word processor, Word 365, I can turn on the microphone and start speaking, period. Now I have words and sentences to start writing with, period. Please check these tools out, exclamation mark. So let me disable. So how about that? I mean, it's pretty cool, isn't it? And now I have something to start with. I have text to work with, and maybe I've given my writing a jump start. I sure hope these tools will inspire you to use some of the technology we have available to make our writing more accurate, more clear, and more effective. If you have any questions about these tools, or you want to talk about how you can use them, just press that contact button and get in touch with me. I'll be happy to meet with you. Take care.